Hello friends, if you're new, welcome to my channel. How about going down and tapping the subscribe button and hitting the bell so you know when I come out with new content. For my fans and subscribers, welcome back. I really do appreciate you. Today's topic, Dungeons and Dragons, and we're still looking at White Wolf. Let's go! In the 1990s, fears of RPGs blended with fears of Goths and Superpredators, as well as RPGs themselves influencing religious movements. Some scholars suggest that in our age of increasing secularism, these games substitute for the sense of enchantment once held by religion. Sociologist William Bainbridge proposed a consolation model in which RPGs serve as a consolation prize to give the universe meaning that was once provided by religion. However, this model has two weaknesses: that religion will become extinct due to scientific rationalism. Second, we see that second-generation gaming has facilitated magical worldviews that challenge scientific rationalism just as much as religion does. This suggests that there may be a stronger relationship between role-playing games and religion than previously thought. Even when people acknowledge their fantasies are pure fantasy, they can still provide models of metaphysics and cosmology. White Wolf provides an important case study of this phenomenon. There are many definitions of the word magic, but for the purpose of this video, I will define it as any belief that is incompatible with scientific rationalism or mainstream religious beliefs. Note, in this definition, a virgin birth is not considered magic. Hanegraaff proposes that participation is a key concept in the magical worldview. Such participationist worldviews suppose mystical union between everything that is not reducible to logic and reasoning. Within such a worldview, magic is possible. Magicians believe that they can know things without empirical observation or evidence and can affect the world in ways that cannot be reduced to causal explanations. Unlike monotheistic religions, magicians see supernatural power as intrinsic within ourselves and not the sole domain of a transcendent being. Hanegraaff has argued that magical worldviews have not died out because modern people find that they are psychologically satisfying. As a result, people have reimagined magic in ways that seem plausible to them, explaining it in terms of quantum physics and psychology. Urban fantasy games like White Wolf reflect the process of adapting magic to fit this modern world. Although we have no figures for how many White Wolf players had a pre-existing interest in magic, one scholar noted that, on the surface at least, there is quite a bit of overlap between groups emphasizing magical worldviews like pagans and some Rein-Hagan games. We also have those that self-identify in some sense as natural entities. For example, there are real vampire communities made up of people who feel that they must feed on either the blood or psychic energy of others to maintain their overall health. Therians, also known as therianthropes, feel a special connection to certain animals and identify with stories of shapeshifters such as werewolves. A third community, known as Otherkin, is a catch-all for others who feel that they are, in a sense, supernatural. This includes fairies, elves, and dragons that somehow are trapped in human bodies. It is hard to trace the origins of such communities, but we think they've existed in one form or another since the 1960s or 70s, and their metaphysical ideas have their roots in the occult literature of the 19th century. However, they became more organized in the 1990s and borrowed from role-playing games. For example, Michelle Belanger is an author who considers herself a psychic vampire and is a leading intellectual in the community. In her books, she describes how she came to this conclusion through introspection, a process known in the community as awakening. This term is also used in mage and means the same thing. She became involved in LARPing, as well as being a storyteller at national conventions where she sought out other psychic vampires undergoing their own awakening. This eventually led to the establishment of House Kapuru, my apologies if I got that wrong, a new religious movement for vampires. White Wolf has a rich mythology and has served as a model for emerging religious communities. At times, their supplements were so detailed that real vampires sometimes failed to understand that these supplements were merely fiction. Although real vampire communities have borrowed elements from White Wolf, there is a clear distinction between those who feel that they are true vampires and gamers who simply play the role of vampires. Otherkin feel that they are mythological creatures that are trapped in human form. Like vampires, they undergo their own process of awakening. Otherkin have a strong cultural connection to gaming. Otherkin groups emerged in the 1960s in the same fascination with Tolkien and mythology that fueled the creation of Dungeons and Dragons. In the early 70s, a pagan group called the Elf Queen's Daughters appeared in San Francisco. The Elf Queen's Daughters identified as Tolkien-esque elves and are regarded as the beginning of the Otherkin community. Eliade hypothesized that we need myth, and thus scientific rationalism robs us of traditional myth. We will simply replace it with popular culture such as films and novels. We now have proof that such popular culture can re-enchant the world by giving us metaphysical meaning. In the 1980s, sociologist Ben Yehuda opined that for some, science fiction offers answers to existential problems that traditional science and religion cannot provide. In fact, the first pagan group to receive recognition from the U.S. government, the Church of All Worlds, was based on Robert Heinlein's Stranger in a Strange Land. Adam Posamai, a sociologist, describes new religions adapted from popular culture as hyper-real religions. Religion and RPGs do not have a simple cause and effect relationship, as moral entrepreneurs claim. Fantasy games do not affect what gamers believe as much as they affect perceptions of reality. Unlike, say, Christians and the Bible, vampires and otherkin do not see game mythologies as religious truth. Rather, they engage in a creative process whereby fictional media and religious ideas are approached simultaneously. Well, friends, that's it for today. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, hit that like button, press the subscribe button, and if you want to know when I come out with new content, hit the bell next to the subscribe button. Also, I think this is going to end my Dungeons and Dragons series. I may start another series in which I look at how it affected the panic. I am totally up for doing the series if you want me to. Just let me know in the comments. Please leave comments in the comment section as they trigger the YouTube algorithm. My Twitter, Discord, email, and PayPal links are in the description, along with the source that I used for this episode. Keep learning and searching for truth. Here are a few videos from my library. If you have not watched them yet, go ahead and watch them and tell me what you think. Stay safe, everyone, and I'll see you next time. Goodbye.